Poynette senior Brett Severson. Brett, for you this year, obviously making it as a team, kind of nullified the fact that you would have qualified as an individual anyway. But the last 2 years, you missed out on that last spot by just the one spot. How sweet has this, accomplishment been to be able to get to state after the way you missed out the last 2 years?
It definitely was a huge disappointment missing it by one spot these last 2 years, and it means so much more to have the team there with me to run at state rather than making it as an individual.
What was that like last year when you missed out on that last spot and it was to a teammate? I mean, that had to, as a competitor, sting. But at the same time, I mean, were you happy for Trevor, or did it hurt worse because it was someone that you knew so well?
It didn't bother me at all that it was Trevor. I mean, it hurt a lot more sophomore year, to be honest, missing up by one. And last year, getting to the finish, I wasn't really trying to pass Trevor and all, but I was really happy for Trevor. It was a bittersweet kind of thing. I wanted to make it, but I felt good that at least one of my teammates made it.
To be successful in cross country, as you know, it requires a lot of running when there's not really any competition. Just you following a training routine, you against the clock, in the summer and in the spring, etc. How much of that time did you spend motivated by the way things went the last 2 years to to be able to stay the course and get to this point again?
Yeah, there was definitely a lot more motivation this year, knowing it's my last year missing state both my last 2 years, and it set a lot more ahead of me to set a goal for to making it to state. That was definitely a big part of my motivation, and definitely having teammates around me always, because it kind of takes your mind off of what you're actually doing, and before the workout you're not thinking about running and whatnot. You're having conversations with your teammates and laughing and joking around, and it takes a lot of the pressure off, I know, especially at the meets.
As a senior and a leader for this team, what has been the biggest key, I guess, that that this group of guys has been able to come together and have the success as a team and get to state as a team? What's been the key for that?
I guess just being together and joking around before the meets actually helps us a lot, I think, because I know a lot of other teams, they get so nervous before those meets and they're getting all tensed up, but usually out on our warm-up, even before the sectional, we were out laughing and screwing around and having fun, and it takes a lot of nerves out of it.
When you talk about screwing around and having fun and just who would you say is most responsible for that kind of mentality that the team takes on?
I know Kyle is definitely a big part of it. He kind of pulls us all into it. He initiates it, and we all just kind of follow in the lead of it, and kind of all just do it together.
What is it about? Talk a little bit more about his personality and what kind of ways he's kind of loosening you guys all up and having fun.
I guess the best way to describe him is he's kind of a goofier character around us, and it kind of just the way he says things and the certain tones that he has in his voice, and it's just a funny factor about him. I don't know how else to explain it.
What kind of goals do you have for yourself on Saturday?
I guess it doesn't matter to me too much about my placing at all. It's going to be a lot of competition, and my goal ever since for my whole career has been to break 17 minutes. And I missed 17 minutes by 7 seconds at the sectionals, and I'm hoping having that much competition and the higher level of athletes and that many more people are there, it's definitely setting up for me to break 17, I think. As
far as this accomplishment for the boys and the girls at the same time, how neat has that been the last few days? How neat will that be, this weekend when you guys are able to go up there basically as a program to the state run? It's definitely going to be neat because we can all do it together. I mean, going up, I've gone up to the state meet quite a bit, watching my sister and the different girls teams that have made it, and it's always cool to go and watch them. But now to go as both teams and we can all be there together is a lot more special, I guess you could say. Just a couple more quick questions. What has been the most fun part of this season for you, looking back on it now as it kind of nears an end? What will you remember most about this season? Especially spending time with teammates outside of practice and outside of meets. I mean, being around this group has always been a lot of fun, and it's something I'm definitely going to miss. And then finally, if you had to describe yourself as a runner, I don't know how many different ways a person can really do that. But if you had to describe yourself as a runner, how would you do that?
I guess you could say competitive and running more with my head than the rest of my body, and just clearing everything out of the way and running smart, and kind of strategizing in the first part and then working my way up in the last part of the race.
Awesome. Anything else? Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.